Recently, there has been another very serious development which threatens the maintenance of the peace in Southwest Asia. Massive Soviet military forces have invaded the small, non-aligned, sovereign nation of Afghanistan, which had hitherto not been an occupied satellite of the Soviet Union. 50,000 heavily armed Soviet troops have crossed the border and are now dispersed throughout Afghanistan, attempting to conquer the fiercely independent Muslim people of that country.
There are conflicting reports out of Afghanistan. Some say that Soviet forces now are in complete control of all major towns and highways. Others saying that heavy fighting continues in key areas of the country, especially within a 100-mile radius of Kabul. Afghan rebels claim control of 2 towns in Langman province, just 50 miles from Kabul. As Marvin Kalb reports from the State Department, the Soviets appear to be digging in to stay.
President Carter demanded last Friday evening that the Russians pull out of Afghanistan. There were an estimated 50 to 60,000 Soviet troops already there. Since then, the number seems to have grown to 85,000, and an additional 20 to 30,000 troops are massing just north of the Afghan border, ready to come in.
The opening shots for the mountain outposts around Pushkur come in the early evening of October the 9th, 1984.
بچه‌های شمشیر یک مین فرمودن. بچه‌های شمشیر یک مین فشنگی را یک سارمین فشنگی و یک سارمین انفجاری را فراندن به توفیق خداوند. شنیده باشید میران. توپچی بدبخت زیر پای توتی نفر جایی که من نفر نرسیده. توپچی از ما 300 متر دور از ابراج به چطور بکنم؟
A major departure from anything they've done since the Second World War, have now exhibited a willingness to use their military forces beyond their own borders in a massive invasion of Afghanistan. The reaction that I have taken to these steps are appropriate and I believe and hope adequate. We must convince the Soviet Union through peaceful means, that they cannot invade an innocent country with impunity and they must suffer the consequences of their action. With Soviet invading forces in Afghanistan, neither the American people nor I will support sending an Olympic team to Moscow.
fellow Americans. Today I'd like to talk to you about a matter of vital importance to our country and the world, the struggle for a free Afghanistan. It's been 6 years since the Soviet Union invaded that nation. 6 years of utter hell for the Afghan people who still fight on in the name of the ideals upon which our own nation was founded, freedom and independence. To demoralize and defeat the Afghans, the Soviets have unleashed the full force of their modern weaponry. Poison gas has been raised down for the air upon Afghan settlements. Massive attack helicopters have been used against near villages. Hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians have been injured or killed, and countless tiny mines have been strewn across the countryside to maim and blind Afghan children. Today, Soviet troops inside Afghanistan number nearly 120,000. And in the face of this brutal onslaught, the Afghan people still refuse to surrender is surely a miracle. And in this holiday season of renewed faith in miracles, it is surely fitting for us to honor and pray for those brave men and women. These courageous people have shown the world that the Soviets can never achieve the outright subjugation of the Afghan mind and spirit that they seek. The Afghan people are too proud, too fiercely determined to fight on. The Soviets understand this. They know that in a sense the battle for Afghanistan has shifted from the mountains of Afghanistan itself to the wider field of world opinion. So it is that the Soviets are prolonging the war and blacking out news about the daily atrocities which they're committing. They are waiting for world attention to slip, for our outrage to wane. Then they believe the support which the free world has been providing to the freedom fighters will dwindle. The Soviets at that point will have effectively cut off the freedom fighters' lifelines, and although the Mujahideen may never surrender, the Soviets will have achieved indisputable control of the country.
Almost a decade of Soviet bloodshed and battle ended 5 minutes ahead of schedule as the Soviet army completed its retreat. The last combat soldier to leave, Commanding General Boris Gromov. He walked across the Friendship Bridge into the arms of his 15-year-old son.